Blog Talk Radio.
You are listening to the Enlightenment. You are listening to the Enlightenment Evolution Network. Welcome to Earth Sky People Radio. Living in harmony with Mother Earth and awakening to an intergalactic society. With your host, Victoria Vives, founder of Reiki Wellbeing and co-founder of the Earth Sky People Movement. Hi, this is Earth Sky People Radio with your host, Victoria Vives. And well, I'm your host, but also your friend, your family, and you can find me at victoriavives.com. Today is Tuesday, July 29th, 2014, but still it is the now. So even if you are listening to this show in the archives, it would be still the now. So we are all together sharing energetic space. So even if you are not in the same room that I am, you can still hear me because we are in the same frequency. We have an energetic connection that brought us together today. So if you are not driving, I invite you to close your eyes and focus on your breathing. And just take a moment to become more and more aware of our energetic connection. And if you focus on your heart and start breathing through your heart, you may be able to feel the magnetic energy of everybody tuning into this radio show with us in the now. So let's send light and love to each person listening so that we strengthen that web of light and love and healing that connects us, that brings nourishment to our earth. And now, staying aware of our connection, take a deep cleansing breath and slowly open your eyes. Okay, we're ready now. So we are together in Earth Sky People Radio, and Earth is representing our connection with Mother Earth, with nature, and Sky is representing spirituality and life beyond the Earth, extraterrestrial, tridimensional life. And for last show, we had Chris Moraski. He was representing the Earth energy because he was sharing his adventures in the wild, how he connects with Earth and with others, and how he created intentional communities. It's a very exciting show, so you can check it out in the archives. And to level this out, to balance it out, we have today energy from the heavens, sky energy. We have two very special guests. It is Rob Gauthier TReb. Rob Gauthier channels TReb, who is a benevolent reptilian hybrid, and he's bringing positive information and energy to our world so that we can be assisted in our planetary ascension, love, and light. And also, Rob Gauthier is the creator of this network, the Enlightenment Evolution Network. So now, the one and only Rob Gauthier.
Oh, thank you, everyone.
That was an applause. How are you, Rob?
I'm doing great. That is the most wonderful idea I've ever heard in my life before. That is brilliant. Thank you. I'll be here all week.
You're such an amazing person, Rob. I'm enjoying being in this network so much. Every single day I go to Facebook and we are messaging each other and everything is about laughing and loving each other. I was talking with Karen Newman this morning and it's like, this is like the perfect job. This is so cool. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being a part of it too. You bring so much laughter and so much joy to people, and just your energy, being in that energy is so healing for so many people.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, by the way, before we get started, I wanted to share something special with our listeners. And it's something that is happening this Saturday. Not sure if you heard of it. It's this Saturday, and it's about chanting. Do you have any idea?
Oh, absolutely. I have a good idea about that. That's going to be something very, very exciting. We're going to have the second Chanting for Peace and Laughter, and it's going to be wonderful, hosted by you, too. And thank you for putting that event on.
Oh, I'm so excited. Yes, it's the second International Chanting for Peace and Laughter with you, Rob Gauthier. And we have other guests, Daniel Scranton, who is also in this network on Mondays, and then two other friends from Canada. It is Dwayne Harmon, and from India, Narmada Askat Pratap, and then myself here in the U.S. And then also the two comedians for stand-up comedy, Joy Miller and Goddess Gloria. So this is going to be an intention that we are setting forth of bringing greater light, higher energies to the earth so that all together can synchronize all around the world, laughing and singing and feeling in peace. So thank you so much for being a part of that, Rob.
Well, thank you for having me on, too, and thank you for throwing the event. It's an amazing concept to have people in a place of laughter and in a place of being able to kind of use their own resonance, whether it be sound or harmonic resonance within them, to neutralize energy, things like that. I actually heard about a study last evening that Kalina showed me that several thousand, I think it was 2,000 volunteers went to Washington, D.C. during the time where it was the murder capital of the world. Yeah, and it decreased crime by 25%.
Yeah, actually, I think the results were, I think it was 7,000 people, and the decrease was actually 72% decrease in the world in crime. 72, I mean, imagine. We have to do this every day.
Well, that shows you how powerful that thought is. Kalina showed me a movie that I have never seen. It was called What the Bleep Do We Know? And it was about metaphysics and how your thoughts. Yeah, I never seen that movie before.
Wow, amazing. Yeah. Okay, so for everyone that wants to come to this event, you can go to victoriavives.com/peace2. And that is the number 2. Okay, and now let's go, let's focus on you now, because I have so many things that I would like to talk with you and learn more about you and about TReb. And one of them is, how is this about you toning and chanting? How did you start doing this? Because you have an amazing talent with your voice.
Well, thank you. Honestly, I started learning meditation, and I never got to the oming part, but I took on a meditation because the meditation I was using wasn't very potent. So I take on this new meditation called the Hemi-Sync Gateway Experience, and in that they taught resonant tuning as a part. So I started using that, and after a while I met with TReb and connected with him. And after I had met TReb for a while, we talked for 2 years in like astral projected state meditation. And then after that, I said, I want to start channeling you. I've seen other people channel. I know it's possible. I want to share your message with people. And when I started doing that, it was, I would say probably about 1.5 years after I started, I would use the resonant tuning as part of my connection process to TReb. And then just automatically one day it just instantly went from a regular Om to the loud, incredible, vibratory oming that you can hear me do now, just instantly. And it was amazing.
Wow. How amazing. Oh, my goodness. That's so beautiful. I really love it because I have heard, the first time I heard of you was in Spain almost a year ago, and I heard a couple of videos, and I really enjoyed the information, but I had no idea that you did any kind of chanting until recently. So that's when I said, I have to invite him to do this, this event. so
Oh,
amazing. Yeah.
it was something that was so accidental, and then as it progressed, it became a natural part of that connection process. And now you can hear the tones moving up and down, and people
Oh
always
my
ask
God.
what that's about, the vibratory status going up, down while I'm oming. Well, I have to get my chakras kind of vibrating at a specific frequency, and
Wow.
each one's different, and each different tone
Wow.
I use vibrates a different chakra. So I
Oh
need them
my
all
goodness.
about equally vibrating. So each time I'm changing from one level O to O or back up again, it changes a different chakra, and then when it's finally aligned, then I'm ready to connect to Treb.
Wow. Amazing, amazing. And I want to mention that today, actually, we don't have a Q&A section. We ask for the questions beforehand. I'm just saying because I see some people asking questions here. So as of now, we're going to focus just in the interview. So I just wanted to let that people know that. Okay, and another thing that you and I have in common, Rob, is martial arts. And that's also something that I
Absolutely.
didn't know about you. Oh my goodness! So tell me. I was going to speak to you in Spanish, but I think you're not going to understand me. So tell me about it.
Yeah, absolutely. My Spanish is not that great. I can understand about 40% of what's thrown at me, but I appreciate sticking to the English. That way I could participate a little better. But
Right.
I love martial arts, and when I seen that you enjoyed that, it excited me because that used to be one of my greatest passions. As I was younger, I always did self-taught martial arts. I get books from libraries, learn things like that. And when I got to my beginning of the 20s, I started learning Aikido, and I ended up getting up to almost the black belt. It was right before the black belt, and the instructor had to leave the area. He had to close his shop down, so I never got the black belt, even though I was equipped to do black belt testing. So I kept that, and then I had also learned self-taught Muay Thai kickboxing. Another friend had taught me some Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and then all of a sudden mixed martial art came on the scene, and a lot of people don't like it because they think it's barbaric. They're fighting in a cage and they're punching each other. So it's really, really rough for a lot of people to handle. But before I started learning and connecting to Treb and stuff, I was in a spot where that was not an issue for me. Violence was okay.
Right.
It was a part of everyday life and my view.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I started connecting to martial arts, and I started training with people. I started teaching them. I'd go and they would fight, and I would be in their corner and kind of tell them strategically what they were doing wrong, what to keep doing that was positive so that they could win the fight. As I ended up stopping that, my life started getting busy in different ways, and then I started connecting to Treb, and I always kept my love for martial arts and mixed martial arts. I just didn't practice the training parts and stuff because sometimes in those types of events there are people who want to go there and compete. They want to just go there and have a fun time. But sometimes with the testosterone flaring, people can get really upset and really. So I tried to stay away from that part. I still enjoy the whole idea of martial arts in general.
Right. And Rob, that's such an important thing that I'm still kind of figuring out myself because I started in martial arts more for the artistic aspect, but then I started training in Jeet Kune Do, and Jeet Kune Do is all about effectiveness and really, seeing how is the way in which you can be more effective in your fighting. So I started getting more competitive. I thought of competing as well. And I learned a lot about myself and the energy, how the anger, if we put anger in our fight, we receive that back to us, and it's terrible. And it grows and grows and grows with our opponents. But it was kind of strange, because I felt that I have that warrior aspect, and it's like, oh my goodness,
Sure.
so I'm still integrating all those aspects. And I feel that it is important to have all those aspects as long as they are in balance. But it is
Yeah.
a strength, right? Because we are spiritual teachers, and it's like, oh, but I had a subscriber that said, oh, I don't want to be in your list because you are violent or something. It's like, oh, why not? But we all have
yeah, that's
the whole
misconception,
range,
isn't it?
of yeah. So, what are your thoughts about that? About
I agree totally. I think that martial arts brings balance to a lot of people who didn't have any. I know when I first started, I was very aggressive person. I was very easily angered. I was somewhat violent person. I fought a lot. And once I started learning a little more balance. And at first, I just wanted to learn it because it was cool to learn it, and that that's the cool part to it. But after a year or so of it, I really started gaining a little bit more discipline, and then I became much less violent. I had a self-knowing that if I were to ever be confronted with a fight or attacked, that I could defend myself easily. So words didn't bother me in the way they did before. I wasn't as easily able to be provoked into an argument or a fight like I was before. And then when I started growing spiritually, then it really started taking resonance with me. It really started plugging away at the core of what it means to be centered and balanced. But I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, and you know what I feel also? I feel that for people that maybe feel kind of powerless, martial arts is the transition until they can regain their power, restore their power, and then from there we have a realization of, this is not the way. I don't want to stay here, but we learn so much that we can transcend that. But I feel in my life it was, as you said, very important. I felt that in the beginning I was more like cocky and like and more competitive and all of that. But then it really teaches us that what we put out, we bring back to us. So if we are able to just keep our breathing calm and just focus on, not the anger, but peace, and see how we can diminish the amount of violence, that is a big teaching for sure. So I'm so glad that you shared about that.
Oh, well, thank you for bringing that up, too. It's something that not a lot of people talk about because in the metaphysical or New Age community, whatever people label it as, it's just not something, because we understand now more how things work. We understand that if we have a physical altercation with someone, it's because we had brought that energy upon ourselves by putting energy in that was negative or imbalanced, so we no longer can project blame on someone else. That being said, you have to, realize that if you want to learn it, it doesn't have to be for self-defense. It can be for fun. Anything you do for fun, as long as you're not hurting people or stepping on the free will of other people, it can be really positive for you.
Absolutely, yes. I feel that also if we start pushing away anything that is not love and light, we start becoming very polar, and we become into a polarity. So we are creating separation, and I don't feel that help us become the full of who we are. But this sometimes is kind of controversial depending on the person that we talk to. So.
Well, absolutely.
Okay. So I also would like to know, you were saying, when you started connecting with TReb, that you were speaking with him for a couple of years, and, it sounds so nice. I would like for you to describe how is your relationship with him. Is it like a part of your oversoul that you connect with, or is more like a very good friend, or like family, a spirit guide? What is your relationship with TReb?
Well, it's kind of all of those things together. It's very amazing for the last year how my relationship with him has been integrated into my daily life. Before I started channeling him, I would connect to him every day, several times a day in an astral projected state, and then I moved to channeling, and that's where I would meet him. I'd go astral project and talk to him while he was talking to whoever else through the physical body. But now in the last year, I feel his presence with me all the time. And when I look at the last, especially the last 2.5, I've been beginning to play with the idea of conscious channeling. So now I'll sit there and I'll think something, hey, Treb, what is this about? And I'll get an answer back within sometimes instantly, sometimes a couple minutes later. So it's like he's there with me all the time now, where before I always perceived him as separate, as just a different fractal in my oversoul. Now I perceive him like an integrated part of my own consciousness, an extra part of Rob. It's funny because Kalina teases me and calls us the combination when we're both there in presence. She calls us TRob, T-R-O-B, and it's funny.
I love that. That's perfect. Yeah, you know, and I also had I love it. I had I had several experiences of feeling aspects of my oversoul and being able also to bring them through. And when I was preparing for this radio show today, I felt that actually Treb was already answering some of my questions, which was interesting.
Absolutely.
So,
a lot of people have told me their experiences with him, meditating, dream states. They all have these stories. And when I first started hearing these stories, I said, no, I'm kind of skeptical. Well, maybe they just had a dream and projected that. And then they'd asked Treb, and Treb's like, yep, that was me. And I was like, what? That's amazing. Now other people can experience them too. That's why, and I don't pick on anyone for their beliefs, but some people believe with channeling, well, only one person can channel one thing or one entity or one group. And for me, I've noticed that people are able to experience Treb in so many different ways that there's no way he can be just mine. You know what I mean? He's part of everybody. Anyone who finds resonance with him.
Yeah. He's a beautiful being. Every time I hear him speaking through you, it's like that energy that is so sweet, so soothing, so understanding, patient. It's like so different from the ideas that we have about reptilians, right?
Sure. That's the beautiful part. He's the total anti-reptilian reptilian. That's how people are just blown away. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, so would you like to share your website just in case, for people that wants to check it out and see more about you and Treb?
Yeah, absolutely. My website is trebchanneling.com. That's T-R-E-B, and then the word channeling with 2 N's, so trebchanneling.com. And I have put almost all the links that I share publicly up there. I've been getting better about keeping it updated with the videos. Sometimes it gets a little busy. Right now I've been so busy making videos is a rough part, and thank God for Kalina. She's been helping. I mean, she's the energy behind Treb channeling at this time. Before I was doing it all by myself, and now she's come in and she's made it easy where I can just jump in the chair and channel, and that is ideal because it makes so much things so much easier for me. It took parts of the experience that I didn't care as much for, and it made me focus on just my excitement. And that, doing the radio network is the other huge excitement for me. Putting that together, co-creating it with beautiful people like you and Kalina and Karen and all of the people who have been hosts on our network. And that's another thing we can talk about for just a minute, if you don't mind, is we have some new hosts coming on. Yeah, absolutely. We've got new hosts coming on the network, too, so you won't feel all by yourself in the network, too, for the moment. We're going to get, it's going to be so amazing.
Oh, cool. I'm excited. It's going to be awesome. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, we've got this guy. His name is Neil Gar, and his partner, Universal Love is what she goes by, and they are radical people, great sound healers. They play the Tibetan monk bowls, the vibration bowls. They want their own show. They've got tons of great people they want to bring on. James E. Charles from humancolonies.org, another channeler who is very, very starting to get very, very well known in circles of the world channeling community. He's coming in. We also have two or three other people who are very interested, and we're working out finer details now. But those two people are coming on for sure. Those three people with two shows will be coming on very soon. And I think we're going to have a day where we have several of the hosts that are on now kind of mixing up things and sharing ideas for collective shows too, which will be very exciting. Sure. That's one of my hugest excitements. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And, since we are talking about this, I would like to just mention to people that we are doing all of this because we really love to do it, and we will do it no matter what. And yes, we invite you always to check out the donation links. So if you want to donate to any of us, it will help us, of course, with the show. We do this with so much love that, I cannot think of doing anything else. I really, really want to do this regardless. But just so you know that you have a way in which you can contribute to this beautiful network that every single day has a show, and it's going to start having 2 shows per day. Oh, my goodness. Amazing. Thank you for doing this, Rob. Really, really nice.
Yeah, thank you, too. You guys are the co-creators of this, too, and that's the beautiful part is we get a bunch of people around who have wonderful information, who have connections to multiple people who have great information, and we also have the capability to share that and share our hearts, and all of us living our excitements together is just a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful, wonderful concept, and it's something that has been growing for a long time, but I'm excited about it. I know everyone who's coming on, everyone who's been here, that we're all so excited about it. And it really is something brand new to the people around. There are not many places who have entire networks dedicated just to metaphysics or just, and the channeling aspect of it alone is huge, huge.
Yeah. Beautiful. I really love it. I'm in love with this. I'm so excited. Okay, so would you like to bring in TReb now?
Absolutely. It will take me a couple minutes to neutralize my energy. It takes usually 3 to 5 minutes to neutralize. After that, then I start my connection process. And at that point, it takes, anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes as well. So I don't know if maybe you want to talk to everybody while I'm neutralizing, and then I'll let you know when I'm done with that. But it'll take about 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay, so should I put you on mute or?
Oh, I'll mute myself, and then when I'm ready, I'll unmute my own self. I've got mute control on my headphone, luckily.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's perfect. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'll be right back. I'll let you know as soon as I'm done.
Okay, see you soon. To you both.
All right.
Okay, so now I'm with you guys, everybody listening. Hi, how are you? So, I need to make some announcements because we have all these different shows. It's just amazing. And tomorrow, actually, Rob Gauthier has his show. So this is every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. As you know, he's the creator of the ENlightenment Evolution Network, and he's hosting the Enlightenment Evolution Hour with a very special guest tomorrow, David Chase. He is the ET artist, so that is going to be a very interesting interview. And also on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we have Philip Malika, that will be hosting Consciousness Evolution Hour with a wide range of metaphysical topics from the perspective of the fifth dimension, the shift, fifth-dimensional living, relationships, channelers, and whatnot. Everything amazing. Then on Friday, we have the Earth Experience with Kalina Angel at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, exploring our soul's expansion through our human experiences on Earth. a beautiful, beautiful show. We continue on Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, which is 8 a.m. Pacific Time. We have Odyssey of Ascension with the wonderful Roxanne. And this is a 2-hour show of mind-bending ascension downloads. She's channeling entities of the oversoul of the collective fire. Then we get to Monday with Daniel Scranton with Heart to Heart Radio, and this week he's actually getting recharged in nature, so the show is going to be a little different. It will be at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Actually, it's 6:30? Yeah, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Time. You know what? I'm not totally sure, but I know it's a different time. And he will have a very special guest, which is his wife, Lana Voss, a wonderful woman as well. And then we get back to Tuesday. Actually, on Tuesday, we have 2 shows. Besides this one, we have Soulfulpreneur. This is at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and this is for inspiration, abundance, and also anything about spiritual businesses. So Rachel Archelos and Megan Crandorny will have guests who will be sharing about their life, soul's purpose, how they're living their soul purpose. And we go back to Tuesday, but this show, which is at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, and this is Earth Sky people living in harmony with Mother Earth and awakening to an intergalactic society. And next week, we're going to have Brad Johnson, and he will be channeling Adronis. So this is going to be amazing. Adronis is an extraterrestrial being from Sirius. So start thinking of questions, because even though this week we don't have questions, for next week we will have. So you can call in next week and, if you have any questions. And if you are shy, you can email me. And all the details are at victoriavives.com/radio. Okay, I'm going to be in silence for a moment.
I think Victoria fell off here, everyone. So if you guys want to stand by, she is going to be getting back on here real quickly. Just take one moment and have a good relaxation, a good breathe. The network, you can find more information on any show, any link that you want to at the Enlightenment Evolution Network. That is facebook.com/Enlightenment Evolution Network. There is going to be a official website for the Enlightenment Evolution Network very soon. And when that comes, we'll have more details, and that'll also cut down the amount of announcements, because I know sometimes people can do that. Okay, maybe I can't hear Victoria's voice. I'm sorry, Victoria, if I'm over-speaking you.
Oh, no, everything is fine.
Okay, I'm sorry, I came on talking because I didn't hear you.
Oh, really? Oh, no, I just stopped for a moment in case you were ready. Thank you.
Oh, sorry about that. That's my brain, network brain kicking in. So sorry about it. I am ready whenever you are, and I am so sorry for speaking over you.
Oh, that's totally fine. We are ready for you and Treb.
All right. So what I'm going to do now is connect Treb. This consists of a couple steps. Basically, you're going to hear breathing, and then you're going to hear that loud, wonderful, beautiful humming Victoria was talking about earlier. And then we are going to just breathe quickly, and then, bam, I'll connect to Treb. And when I do that, it'll take him a couple seconds to gather in, and then he'll let you know when he's ready.
Beautiful.
All right. We'll see you on the other side.
Okay.
So Good evening, Victoria.
Oh, hi, Treb. How are you?
I'm doing very well. And how are you doing this evening?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. You are so sweet and nice that I wish you would be right here so that I could give you a hug.
Yes, and I'm right with you in this moment. Unfortunately, in the way I receive energy, I am not able to be physically with you or anyone in that moment, but I am always there, energetically in your heart, and also connected to the soul.
Oh, how beautiful. Thank you. So,
Yeah.
I have... So, yesterday Rob mentioned about female warriors from Capella, and he shared a post in which it was explained that there is a matriarchal society with multiple kinds of reptilians living in a sanctuary, and they are learning to be more peaceful with help of the plebeians. Also, this post explained that the Capellans care about Earth, but still have to respect our free will, and because of that, they don't interfere, especially because people in our planet is conditioned to think that all reptilians are bad. So Rob mentioned that this is combining actually three different histories into one, and I felt, we have to ask Treb so that he can give us more insight about this subject.
Yeah. The concept of this is three specific and separate histories combined into one. In the idea of the entities that are all upon one planet, at one period in the third density experience of our own race, there was an amalgamation of many reptilian entities, but this had to do with a very specific war. It was not as much a war as it was an attack upon our own race. The entities that you call the ancient reptilians or the alpha draconian entities attacked our own planet in the third density state. And in this attack, as they manifest themselves physically into third density, as well as connecting to several races of reptilian entities that join them in the attack, the area that we have in Capella is very central to many of the other reptilian races. So in their minds, they wish to attack us and to have us move from our own planet so that they may enjoy the actual planet upon which we live. And in this time, they are fighting and attacking and killed a very great amount of our population in our planet. And after this war, many of the races that joined with them, seen the sensitivity, if you will, of these entities, seen the aggressive nature, seen how they were willing to hurt and to kill their own, as well as the entities who had come to join them. So several dozen of the races of reptilians that joined them actually found a refugee in our own planet. And this is one history. And during this time, in a separate history, during the exact same time, there was a planet that took the rest of these entities that after accumulating upon our own planet, after several months of preparation, rebuilding our own technology that would allow the entities that we know to be the Nihal, the ones who guided us through our own third density, as soon as they were able to get their own ships and technology and our own technology to connect to them, they brought their ship and took them to another area. This is a planet that is approximately 12 light years from Capella to a star that is not named by your own race, one that is very small, but very accommodating to reptilian entities, as our own planet was very cold for most of the entities, as we are a reptilian hybrid race, one that has reptilian energy, but also the physicality and energy of the human entities that you would know to be Nihal. This allowed us to accommodate and acclimate to this specific planet with a lower temperature, while the others could not accommodate their own physical needs in this environment. So as they move to a different planet, they are connected to this new planet, and they are all living together as one society. The Nihal were very interested in helping this race, but the Nihal were also looked upon by several reptilian races in a negative way because of their creation of our own race, showing the world, showing the galaxy, and showing the entire group of galaxies that are aware of us that we are able to come in as a type 1 entity, as a entity that is more positive and non-willing to step upon the free will. They looked upon the Nihal as if they were arrogant in doing this, so the Nihal could no longer keep their communication and open up a line with another race of entities that were from the Pleiadian region, the ones that are now in the same density as us, in the fifth density, and one race that we still connect to in this day, the ones that we have expressed previously, with the entities that appear to be cats with two tails that are always upon the shoulder of these Pleiadian human entities. These entities began their own relationship with this entire planet and taught them very many things about giving away plants and giving away energetic proportions of physical food in which they did not need to kill other animals or other entities to nourish their body. And as the entities that are Pleiadian connected to them, this is the second history. The third history is the era of time period in which we are now. This allows us to have what you would call a specific concept of defense system. This is something that we are growing out of as a race, but we have still had from the entities who are energetically linked to our own past, who hold on to the concept ceremonially. We need to have entities that are protecting specific areas of our own interactive area in the Capellan region, if you will. And as these entities are connected, not only in our own recent time, but all the way into the time period in which we were third density entities, all of the entities that were the most important people within the army or within the new defensiary system or the ceremonial defensive system are all considered by your standards to be females. So all of these female entities were ones who are leaders of the army, who are soldiers that were within the army, and this is the third area of past stories and history that is amalgamated to make this one conception.
Wow. Thank you for sharing all of that. Thank you so much. Beautiful.
Yes, you're very welcome.
And, I feel that I can relate to the situation of people discriminating reptilians. I'm half black, and I grew up in Spain when there were no black people. So I felt that discrimination, that everybody just put you in a box and everybody think, that you're different and they don't want to connect with you in the same way. And, I feel that we need to start opening our minds to this integration of all aspects of of source, of oneness, to really start integrating all aspects, because ascension, for me, from my perspective, is about integrating all parts. It's an expansion. I don't know if you would see it like that.
Yes. The idea of ascension is this. Exactly. It is an expansion of consciousness. It is an integration of several portions of your own oversoul through fractalized consciousness. Any of these fractalized consciousnesses that resonate with you to a high degree in the area of growth that humanity is going through, what we would label the third to fourth density exchange. In this specific area of consciousness, there is the capability and the ability to integrate several portions of the oversoul. And as the host that's expressed in the beginning of your time of this show, he is expressing that my own energy and his energy are connecting very strongly, and this is one of the portions of integration that we are speaking of. This is something that is very common amongst many humans who are open to the experience to have more, to grow more, to expand to a much higher degree.
Yes. So do you feel you or your collective, do you guys feel like sadness when we maybe reject the reptilians or don't open to reptilians? How do you feel about this situation?
Yes, this is a very good question. There is not what you would say to be hard feelings about this concept. There's not frustration or anger or jealousy or any of these emotions that you would perceive as a human to be negative. What we are accepting is that you yourself, as well as any fractal of consciousness, whether it be of a first density, a rock, or a piece of water, all the way to the most complex entities in the universe, the sixth density entities, all of these and everything that is between them is able to live in their own existence as a sovereign entity, one who is able to express themselves into reality in the way that they choose. And we respect and love all of these portions of consciousness, whether they respect or love us. This is not what we care about. What we care about is the happiness of the entity, and if they are more happy to be without us than with us, then we are praising this concept. We are excited about this growth for them.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. That is really unconditional love.
Yes.
That is really
this is what you are working upon now, to be
right.
within your own human race, to be of unconditional love, whether it be for your own self or for the collective.
And would you say that the more aware that we are of our oversoul and all the aspects in it, we will also be more ready for becoming an intergalactic society and having extraterrestrial disclosure and being able to really connect with all of you at a deeper level and also transcend those fears?
Yes, this is a very great concept and very great idea, but let us express from our own perception that this is the second step that is necessary. There is a step that must be taken by most of mankind before the step of accepting and allowing separate entities and fractalized consciousness of their own oversoul. And the very first step that you can do that will be most resistant, free to do before this step is by stepping into an acceptance of your own self. This is something that many humans are not doing, and by not doing this, they are not only blocking the energy that they have to give to themselves, they are not only blocking the capability of manifesting a reality in which they desire the greatest, but they are also blocking the ability to manifest external connections. As you understand, in your own reality, you create your reality from the very ground all the way into the top, and by doing this, this means that you are projecting and connecting to separate entities or entities that you perceive to be separate from you are truly and only a projection of consciousness from within your own self. So what is being expressed here is that if you are not able and willing to connect to yourself, you are not being able to be willing to connect to another entity, because the other entity is truly a projection of your own self. It is a projection of consciousness, of a portion of consciousness that you are not aware of, that is being projected outwardly.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
So my next question was whether in your societies you have intentional communities. I really want to start an intentional community here in Los Angeles, and we're starting forming it right now. And I was wondering if you do that in your society, or how is the structure in your cities?
Yes. The buildings that we use for our own living purposes are what perhaps you would see to be metallic. I believe the igloo is the closest structure that you have. It is a round, dome shape with one small entrance. And in this entrance, you are able to go in to the metallic object. And there is no specific separation of rooms in most of these structures, as they are all a part of openness. And the vibration that you have, not only in the vocal structure when it comes time to sing, but the vibration of our own consciousness, the physical cells of our own physical body, are being able to be amplified and manifested more directly in these structures. And as we have them in the areas that we prefer the most upon our own planet, we also have larger cities, ones that where many larger domes are being built and connected to. And this is a place where not only people may live if they choose to live, but also be able to come and gather and communicate if they wish. The way that our society works is quite separate as your own. There is no countries or boundaries or zones. It is all open and free for you to be wherever you wish to be. You do not have to live in a structure if you do not choose to. It is able to be where you may be, wherever you wish to be, whenever you wish to do this. And there is no restriction in the way that you can move. In fact, the moving around upon our own planet can be very simply done by projecting our own physical self into another area of the planet. But also we are able to take a long walk, to be able to walk for several days and go to the area that we choose to. And this would be dependent on our excitement to either be in that place in that moment, or the experience of what it is to walk to this place.
Oh my goodness, how beautiful. And right now, where are you? Are you in a city or a...
Yes, I am not within my own planet at this time. Previously in the day, when I connected to the host, I expressed to him that I was in one of our own crafts, ready to go to the area of star system that you would call the Pleiades, and the entities that we have spoke of previously in this day, the ones who carry an animal that would appear to be similar to a two-tailed cat, these density Pleiadian entities are the ones that we are going to visit in this time. So now we are with Pleiadian entities, and we are connecting to them in this moment.
Oh, how beautiful. Well, say hi, please.
Yes! They are already very aware of our connection and express their own greetings to you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay.
Yes, and thank you as well.
So, I always feel that internet, whether it is creating a website or a Facebook profile, connecting with other people, in a way, it helps us creating who we are, and it starts interlacing our energies, so we are forming these families that are just through internet consciousness, and when we match the energies, we connect. And I would like to know how this transforms our consciousness. Perhaps this is acting as a mirror, reflecting and empowering our light because we reflect one another and it grows stronger, and perhaps is helping in our process to reintegration into oneness and ascension. And also I would like to know if there is any negative aspect to stay so connected mentally and spiritually and energetically, but not physically. So what would be your opinion on this?
Yes. What we suggest to many humans, if they wish to connect to the aspects of themselves that will help them obtain the most growth within them, that will help them go to an area of ascension that is the greatest for their own growth and development, what we suggest is very simple, that when you connect to something that excites you, to stay in that moment. It is very simple to say, live in your excitement, and it's very simple for humans to hear the words, live in your excitement, but this idea is brought forward as more a philosophy or a good idea. To live in happiness means I may be able to be a happy person, therefore I will be able to live in love and in light, but this is not always true. What is true is living in your excitements in all moments and being aware that you are living in your excitement. Just thinking that I should live in my excitement does not mean that the actions that you are placing upon yourselves are reflective of living in your excitement. So what we suggest is by placing action behind the concept of living in that excitement, by not making excuses for oneself to not act upon your excitements, we understand through the progression of humanity in this time, energies are going upwards and downwards and can be very confusing to the heart and also to the mind of humanity. And this causes them to say, I want to do this, but I cannot do this because the energy is not correct, because I will not be able to manifest what I desire, because I am not in a right place or space energetically. But this is all very counterintuitive to the concepts of what we have expressed in the previous times. What we've expressed is that you must act upon your excitements, that you must live in your excitements, that you must not have an expectation upon the outcome of your excitements. And if you are able to stay to these simple concepts and literally be aware of them in each moment, then you will find that not only will you get a desired effect, but you will also see effects that you never believed were once possible to be able to manifest. What we have expressed previously is this example as much as an entity that you would call a cat or a house cat, and the laser pointer that entities will use to guide them around the house in a playful moment. And this is what we wish to express to you, that your higher self is giving you excitements as if a human is pointing a laser, and you are the cat that can choose to follow those excitements, and guaranteeing you that if you are able to do this without conflict, with action upon your excitements, but also the concept of not being resistant to keeping an expectation removed, that you will be able to find pathways to new excitements that never knew to be there. And this is the greatest way to open more avenues for more excitements, as we understand that in the environment and in the society that you have created for yourselves, that there is not always an avenue of excitements available to some of you. So if you choose small excitements and continue to follow, it is guaranteed that a path will open up if you do not expect one to open up.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, you are very welcome.
Mm-hmm. And do you use any kind of system for connecting with one another, such as internet or cell phones, or is everything about telepathy, or you're just always connected? How is that in your society?
Yes, this is a very interesting concept, as we have expressed to entities who have asked a similar question, that in the way that we connect to one another within our own planet, we are all very highly tied to the etheric grid of our own planet. So we are able to have telepathy with any entity upon our own planet If there is a mutual desire to connect to one another, if you wish to check up upon a friend to see what their vibration is doing, you may receive this information instantaneously. There is no secretism of what you are doing or what you are excited about. This is all being shown to all entities. This is what we are able to do upon our own planet. But when we leave our own planet, there is a concept where consciousness of a single individual entity, let us say, for example, I am leaving my planet and only have two accompanying me. This means that collectively we are only three. Yet, and if we leave our planet, to be able to connect with them more consciously, we use a manifestation of technology that helps increase the connective signal of our telepathy to one another. So if I were to move to this Pleiadian area and wish to connect back home to any entity, just because I am connected to them energetically, I will use this technology that is manifested outwardly into a wristband that would appear to be metallic by your own perception, but is truly connected to the crystalline grids that connect to energy. So the idea that technology is an integration of our own consciousness as well as the crystalline portions of the inside of the technology will help enhance our own signal to be able to stay in this telepathy.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, it is very exciting.
Yes. Today my husband went for a hike, and he was mentioning that the creeks that normally have more water, that they really not getting any more water. And, I was wondering if you could tell us what is reflecting this of not having enough water. Is it reflecting any belief in our consciousness or any action that we are doing, any fear that we have? What can we do to change the situation? Can we do something in ourselves so that it changes in the earth?
There are many things that this is caused by. One area that you would know as California, there is always an issue where everyone feels that they are lacking a specific amount of hydration or water. And in this concept, there has been a great belief that is being built that I am not able to have the amount of water that I desire, that perhaps there will be shortages, and this causes a fear amongst the collective. And as this fear is being manifested outwardly, the planet Earth, who is its own entity, its own seventh entity, sovereign entity, that is the sum connection, the sum of all consciousnesses upon Earth, placed together in one entirety. This concept is a reflection of this one entity showing back all of its sums. It is much as if you look at your cellular level on your physical body, and let us say that one area becomes cancerous, then one area is beginning to be affected in the entire body. And this is the same with the Earth, although it does never have an energy that will kill it indefinitely unless it wishes to no longer exist. This can be a show, but what it is the belief of the cells within the physical body. The belief of the cells is that we will not have water. We are fearful of not having water, and this is why it is manifested.
Wow.
What we may do as a collective galaxy is work upon the concept of all of us, every race in this galaxy being connected as one race, but also more predominantly in your own environment. If humanity wishes to look at this as highly abundant, if they look at the ideas of technology that can turn the greatest abundance of water that you have in the ocean into drinking water. There is a large abundance of this, but there is always a belief that it will be too expensive to translate this water into usable and drinkable water, that it will be difficult to make the machineries too expensive. But this is not true as well. There are many cheap ways to turn this water into drinkable water, clean water. It is the concept of the belief that affects the manifestation of all entities. So if you decide that you wish to have more water within your own self, by a lack of fear of being without it, a lack of fear of the nature around you being affected by the lack of water, then you will see more water come to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
So I have a question that somebody sent that was whether you can speak about type 2 beings in 6D and their opportunity to change to type 1 beings when they get to 6D.
Yes. This is a very exciting concept. Let's use the most common example of a 6-density entity that is of a type 2 variety. These entities are known to be the ancient reptilians, and these entities have been within the physical existence the longest of any physical entity in this galaxy. The reason that they are not removing themselves from physical existence is once their understanding came to be that when they graduate to 6th density, they go back to oneness. This caused a great anxiety to them. It caused a great fear. They did not wish to what in their own mind would be perceived as losing their own personal fractalized consciousness, their personality, if you will, their separation from oneness. The separation is the energy that they preferred and they're growing, but not much of the history of the ancient reptilians before the last 7 billion years have been known because they came from another area, another level of consciousness that you would call a matrix. Coming from another matrix of consciousness, they integrated into this specific universal matrix, and as they did, their own connection to disconnection was very high. They did not wish to be connected to anything. And in their move, in their own fight to stay into physical existence, as this is not a natural progression to stay in a physical body, it is always a progression to expand and to evolve into the next level. They begin to use different sources of energy. They begin to manifest different dramas that led themselves to be able to repeat this process of staying in physical reality. But as the consciousness begin to integrate with more reptilian races, as they begin to take on that type 2s that were less disconnected than them, that were closer to a type 1, but only small definitions of changes allowed them to be a type 2, these entities begin to energetically merge with the alpha draconian entities. These entities, if you will, vibrationally affected a small group of the alpha draco entities. This small group of alpha dracos begin to fall in love with the concept that they are able to be at one with all things. And during this thought process of this very small group of ancient reptilians begin to manifest itself out into a lighter energy, a more kind, a more loving alpha draco, they begin to separate themselves from the larger group. So this, by example, may show you that a change in desire, a change in focus of consciousness, a change in your actions within consciousness is able to help an alpha draco entity who has spent billions of years in physical existence, being able to separate themselves from the type 2 energy. It is with action, with intent, and with their own projection of consciousness in one direction to be able to make them have this physical existence that they preferred. It is the same with humanity and the same with all races. It is only a reframing of your own mind, a reframing of your beliefs, and a reframing of actions that you have upon your excitements and your beliefs that will allow you to change direction to any direction of consciousness that you desire. And it can be this simple.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
Okay, so I would like to know, how is your everyday life? So, for example, what do you do every day, or I don't know if you have days there, because we have here weekends and weekdays, but I would like to know how you structure your time, what is your routine, or what do you do normally?
Yes, and this is very simple. There is not a structure of a day that we have. The closest cycle that we have that is natural is one that is 93 days. This is one revolution around the star in which we reside upon. But in this idea of day and night, even this does not exist upon our planet. We are so close to our planet that the same side is always facing the star, that we have a daytime and a nighttime. But even this is very similar in the light that is reflected. Although the dark side is darker, the side that is away from the star, it is not so much darker that there is a great difference. It is enough difference for preference of the entities to live upon one side of the planet or the other side of the planet. So in this way, there is no specific concept to days or nights. But in our own excitement, the way that we create our existence is there is no need for sleep. We sometimes slow the physical body down so that we can manifest a meditative state which allows us to replenish our body. We are able to manifest physical food in the form of soup that appears to be silver. And in this manifestation, it is not nourishment to the physical body. It is only a manifestation of our desire to nourish the body with love and light, and this is how we manifest this. In this way, this gives us the ability to have whatever excitement that we choose in that moment, as all entities' excitements in our own race are different. Each entity is doing something that is completely different from the entity next to it. There is no set schedule or concept or idea that we must follow. It is only the concept, live in your greatest excitement, and this is co-created very well. It is synchronicity at its greatest without ever bumping into another's free will.
Wow, awesome.
Yes, it is very awesome as well.
And, there are different ideas about how the moon is here in the Earth. Some people say that the moon wasn't there before, and suddenly it was there. Some people say that the moon is not real, meaning that somebody constructed it. So I just would like to know, what is your perspective on the moon?
Yes, there are two separate histories with the moon. There are the concepts that one was brought to you from entities that wish to keep your planet from unlining, one in which they are able to project their own base and be able to look upon your race and to monitor and watch them, and this is one reality. There is also another reality that expresses that a large pre-planet or a proto-planet was smashing into Earth in its early developmental stage, and this caused a debris belt which coalesced and created the moon. Now I wish to express that both of these are correct. In your mind, in the human version of what is real and what is not real, one of the human mindsets would be, how can this be true? How can there be two separate realities in one existence? But what I can express to you is whatever your belief in this idea is, this is the reality that draws you closer to this. So let us ask you a question so that you may decide whichever reality that you wish to choose. Which would you prefer? A moon that is a natural portion of the Earth, one that is created in a very great and exciting, explosive, energetic co-creation? Or do you wish to have a moon that was brought here by people who mean to oppress you and to monitor you? This is your decision.
All right, I prefer the first one. Beautiful moon,
yes,
co-creation.
Yes, and this would be the preference of the host as well.
Beautiful. Okay, so I have one more question because we're running out of time.
Yes.
So the question is, Rob and I were talking about martial arts, and like the kind of negation about that, and I would like to know if in your planet there is any martial arts, or how is your perspective on martial arts, or any kind of recommendation that you can give us so that we can integrate better those aspects that we kind of push away and I feel are necessary to integrate so that we are whole.
Yes, I would express to you that all of you who are not aware of specific concepts upon our own planet might be pleasantly surprised to find out that on our own planet we have a version of physical entertainment that is similar to martial arts as well. That in our own environment we have a concept that would much be appearing as a very light-hearted wrestling that is mixed with the ability to find the greatest position within our own balance using tails and feet and arms to be able to find the greatest, most advantageous point of gravity between us. So this is much as a balancing act between two entities, and in the spirit of showing one another our own ability to connect to this specific art, the ancient art of our ancient third density forefathers or ancestors or fractalized consciousness, whichever way you look at this or whichever way you choose, we still use this in this day. And to those of us who use this, this is very exciting and it is very balanced. It is all done not with the idea of malcontent or anger or frustration as you have previously expressed, but it is an idea that two entities may enjoy a similar thing together in excitement. And this is what is important for all of you to learn, that whether it be of sexuality, whether it be of martial arts, whether it be of dancing, whether it be of painting, anything that two entities may share together in their own excitement can be the most spiritual concept that you will be able to experience.
Thank you. That was very enlightening. Thank you so much.
Yes, and thank you as well. I wish to express that in this evening our connection and conversation has been very exciting, and with this idea being expressed, I will leave you this evening in love and in light, and we will experience each other again very soon.
Thank you so much for being here today. Bye.
Good night.
Good night. Wow, that was awesome. That was so beautiful. How are you? How are you feeling?
I'm doing all right. Everything went good, it sounds like, huh?
Oh, yes, beautiful. We talked about martial arts and everything, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, that's one thing. I don't know if he told you about their stuff, but they've got like a really cool-looking martial arts. It's way different than anything we have, but it's fun to watch. They've showed it to me what it looks like before. It's amazing.
Oh, wow. I would love to see that. That's awesome.
Oh.
Wow. Thank you so much, Rob. That was beautiful. I really appreciate so much all that you are doing. You don't stop. You have so many things, and everything is beautiful. Everything is sharing. Everything is connecting with others. Thank you so much. And I really would like for you to share a little bit what you have coming up.
Absolutely, and thank you for giving me an opportunity. What I've got coming up is this Saturday. It's going to be the awesomest event ever. We're going to be doing the second international chanting for peace and for laughter. That's going to be wonderful. Thank you, Victoria, for putting that together. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Some other things we have coming down the pipe. Tomorrow I'm going to be interviewing David Chase, the ET artist, on my show like you talked about before. But also I've got an event that I just did, Portal to Ascension Starseed Summit. But next month they're going to have another event at portaltoascension.org, which I will be doing the administrating for and the hosting of that event for them. And on the 13th of September, we have the channel panel sponsored by TRebChanneling.com. This is going to have awesome channelers, myself, Daniel Scranton, part of the network too. But also it's going to have the infamous Brad Johnson, who will be your next week guest, but he's a great friend of mine as well, as the great Nora Harold and the great John Callie. And John Callie's the guy from the original Tuning In. And that's going to be an awesome event, and Kalina will be administrating that and hosting that. And she's going to have a fun time co-creating that with us, too. We also have the weekend with TReb in Asheville, and this is for anybody who wants to be in the Asheville area. This is going to be just in a couple of weeks. Next week, and I believe it will be August 15th, 16th, and 17th. That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 3 days where you could spend with TReb. We're going to be doing UFO sighting, the CE5, where we call UFOs to us.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach how to channel, teach how to meditate. We're going to eat together. We're going to stay together. More details on it, go to trebchanneling.com, and we're going to spend 3 days, the majority of those 3 days together. So just trebchanneling.com. You can go for details for any of it.
Beautiful, beautiful. So exciting. So many things. I love your energy, always doing things. And now with Kalina that is rocking it there. Oh, wow, what a couple.
Kalina's the greatest. Oh, thank you so much.
She's awesome. Oh, thank you so very much. Okay,
thank you very much for having me on tonight.
So we're going to start closing up. I'm very grateful to you, Rob, and I will continue tuning into everything that you are doing.
Thank you.
So I'm going to just make some announcements for my next show, which, as you know, will be next Tuesday. So we'll be with Adronis, that is channeled, but Brad Johnson, and that would be next week at 6 p.m. as well. Also, if anyone is in Los Angeles area, on Sunday I'm teaching Reiki Level 1 certification. So that's another thing. And of course, this Saturday with Rob Gauthier, Daniel Scranton, Dwayne Harmon, and Narmada Askat Pratap, myself, and two comedians who are Joy Miller and also Goddess Gloria, we're going to have this amazing event with people all around the world. So if you want to contribute to this expansion of consciousness and positive energy, just check victoriavives.com/peace2. And with this, we're going to close for today with one of my songs. It's called Divine Sacred Goddess, and I want to thank you for being here today. Let's keep that heart connection so that we can continue that web of light all around the world. Thank you so much, everyone listening. Thank you so much, Rob. Thank you so much, everybody in this network, whether it is the presenters or the people listening. Thank you so much. I love you.
Thank you, Victoria.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Divine sacred goddess that lies within, awaken my wisdom, awaken my gifts. May all of your blessings shine through me. May all of your nurturing reign over me. To our divine mother, my sisters, let's sing. Let's gather together, our cycle begins. And to this sweet moment, our love we bring. Awaken the goddess that lies within. May all of my life be touched by your light. May your loving presence reign through the divine. Let's hold hands and dance, and let's celebrate to our divine mother. Together we pray. sagrada divina eres tú, mi cuerpo y mi alma yo baño en tu luz, despierta los dones en mi corazón, que tu compañía ilumine mi amor. Diosa querida, me cuida y me guía, me ampara en la noche, me inspira en el día, su dulce presencia puedo sentir, su llama latiendo muy dentro de mí. May all of my life be touched by your light. May your loving presence reign through the divine. Let's hold hands and dance and let's celebrate to our divine mother. Together we pray.
You are listening to the ENlightenment Evolution Network. Welcome to Earth Sky People Radio. Living in harmony with Mother Earth and awakening to an intergalactic society. With your host, Victoria Vives, founder of Reiki Wellbeing and co-founder of the Earth Sky People Movement.